Hey guys, welcome along. Bit of a different video here. We're going to look at the Aerocraft brass legs for the Revell Phantom today. But I don't have a kit to show you to compare the parts with. But I have got this. This is a Phantom I finished. This is actually, yes, a model I actually finished. It's a Revell Phantom. I built this back in 2011 on the Flory Models Phantom group build. At the same time, I built the Tamiya F-4E as Easy Rockin' Mama, and you can see that if you want to go and see that one. That's on Phantom Fever on a group build on large scale planes. So we're going to look at that. It amazed me. I just looked back. It was 2011, 8 years ago, and when you look at the Phantom Fever, my actual build is top of the pile. So with loads and loads of really nice responses on it. So yeah, chuffed. I can't get to the cupboard that's in at the moment, so I can't show you it, so please don't ask me to show you it on video. I can't. But this is the Revell, obviously a lot cheaper than the Tamiya kit, and there's also more variants available. In my opinion, it's got three major issues. The cockpit is awful. The intakes are way too small, they taper in too much, and the nose is a mess. So on this one, I've actually made the nose. When you get the Revell kit, some of them have a great big centerline drop tank, huge great thing. I've actually remade a nose out of that. So this nose is not the kit nose. This nose is actually from the made from a drop tank, and you can see there that we've got the correct profile, the correct shape here. The Revell nose is sort of points up too high. It's kind of equal about top and bottom. So yeah, this is covered in dust. It sits on top of a cabinet in the living room, and on this one I widen the intakes by putting fillets in, and on the actual cockpit I replaced it. So what I've done, I've actually used the Tamiya cockpit and some Edard seat belts and stuff, and dressed it up so it looks good. And there we go. So yeah, painted all the consoles. That's all painted there. There's no Edard or anything. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with the way it came out. Really, try and show you inside the cockpit. There you go. Okay. Now the other issue with this model is it doesn't stand correct. It's kind of jacked up. The rear undercarriage legs are too long, and the front undercarriage leg is too simple. So let's go and have a look at how we can correct that. And this is what I'm here to talk about today. These are the brass undercarriage legs for the Revell 1/32 scale Phantom, and they're from Aerocraft Models. Aerocraft Models is a fairly new company, been around for about a year, run by a guy called Alistair, who's been modelling for over 50 years. He has 15 years experience in the modelling trade, and this is exactly what we need, guys, is people out there who are modelers making upgrade parts for models. So they know what we need, they know what we want, and they know what's expected, not just like these massive companies that just want to make a profit. So what he's offering here is a stronger set of undercarriage for your Revell Phantom, but also it's got two major correction factors. The main undercarriage legs on the Revell kit are too long, so it kind of gives the kit a jacked up stance. So yes, you could just cut down the plastic legs, but for what these cost, these are actually £19, and they're available from his website, which I'll put a link to in the comments down below. Go and have a look. There's lots of lovely stuff on there, and his range is growing fast. So yeah, the undercarriage legs on the Revell kit are too short, too long, which gives it a kind of jacked up stance. So these are shorter, but also the nose gear is incorrect in its shape. It's too skinny. It's very weak, and it's quite lacking in detail. And I'll show you in a minute the comparison of the kit parts to basically these. Obviously I'm not going to fit these to my model. I'm certainly not going to do it on camera, so you won't be able to see the difference, but I can put them next to and you'll see what I mean. Now you may be asking yourself, why would I buy these over the other commonly available metal undercarriage legs? Well, here's an example. of a undercarriage leg. This is white metal from the commonly known companies that we buy them from. And the biggest issue I find with these is the fact that they bend. I mean, you can see here, I'll bend this one. There we go. They bend. They bend back. It probably won't snap, but there we go. These don't bend. Obviously, if with enough force, you could bend them, but yeah, these don't bend like this does. You can see if I just bend that there, you can see it just bends easily. So yeah, not the best. Whereas the brass ones, they're extremely rigid, and they're a lot stiffer than the white metal ones. You can see that one needs a bit of a tweak on the end, and I can just tweak that down. I could probably grab that with a pair of pliers or even with a pair of tweezers, just to give it some leverage and just tweak it down. I can't even bend, I need pliers. So you can see these are so much stronger, and you can imagine how weak that joint there would be in white metal. It would just fold over. So there we go, you're getting more strength, you're getting the corrected length, and you're getting the corrected detail on the front. So let's have a look at the model and see how these compare to the plastic legs. So with the nose gear, we can see, if I show you here, it is very weak and very spindly. As I say, this model stands on top of a cabinet in my living room. It never sees any sunlight, and the living room is a pretty constant temperature, so it never sees any heat or anything. So these have actually stood the test of time. But if you're in a particularly hot climate, or the model is seeing sun or being moved around about, I think these will break. If we look at the metal undercarriage leg in comparison, I'm going to put in a pair of tweezers so I can get it close and give you an idea. If you look around this area here, you can see how much fatter the metal undercarriage leg is, and you can also see the extensive detail around here. I think this is the steering motor. You can see the detail around the motor compared to the plastic part there. If I just zoom you in, there we go, you can see there the extensive detail on here compared to here. So yes, it is stronger, it's fatter, and it's a nicer looking part overall than the plastic kit part. The other thing to note here is you'll see that on Alistair's website he says that he supplies these and they'll need clean up and there's flash and inclusions and that, but if you look at this is directly out of the bag. I haven't cleaned this up in any way, shape or form. You can see that the casting is lovely. There's a seam there, but you know, it's just really, really nice, really beautifully done. I think that's the gate there, isn't it? Which just needs to be cleaned up. So, and looking at the model, that's going to be pretty much just up inside the fuselage anyway, so that bit of clean up there won't be that important. But yeah, really nicely done, beautifully cast, beautifully detailed. And also it's worth noting as well, if I can get this in shot, if you look at the oleo here in the kit, and then compare that to this one, you can see the detail on the metal part is far superior. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the main landing gear. So when we look at the main landing gear, we can see this is the Revell plastic. This is straight out of the box, and the first thing we can notice is that is extremely weak. That area there, it's the same as like I showed you on the B-24, where you've got this area here. It's very, very thin, and it's very, let's see if the camera will focus, it's very thin, and it's a leverage point, and that's basically where it's flexing. As I say, this model stands in constant heat, no sunlight, so it's stood up to the test of time. It doesn't get moved at all, so that's going, if you're moving this model around and taking it to shows, that's going to get broken for sure, and it won't take much of a knock to break it. So these are basically moulded off the kit parts, I think, or basically the same, but they're shortened. So you can see there, I don't know if you can make out, but they are physically shorter. I mean, I'm sitting that on top of the wing there, and the spindle is basically in line. Let me bring you in a bit so you can see. There's the comparison. There's your metal leg against your plastic leg. You can see I'm just touching that wheel and it's bending. So there we go. So this has been the Aerocraft brass undercarriage legs for the Revell 32nd scale Phantom F4. Hope you've liked it. They're available, as I say, from the Aerocraft website, and I'll put a link down below, and they are £19 for the set, which I think is very reasonable for what you're getting. And when you think about the rigidity, how much you're making your model more accurate, and also adding some strength to it. So if you are doing shows and stuff, I would say these are pretty much a necessity. And then while you're on the site, also have a look at those undercarriage doors, and you may want those as well. So thanks for watching the video. If you've liked this, please subscribe and give me a like. There's lots of other reviews on the site already, and there's many more to come. So thanks for watching, and happy modelling. Bye bye.